Hey guys, no cam this time. I'm feeling a little under the weather, but I'm still trying to bring you guys the Diablo 4 quarterly update. And it says latest for 2020, so we're going to take a look at that. Right now, it looks like this first part is basically talking about the evolution of the game, that it's moving along still at a fairly good pace, and that they are trying to put in elements and things that make Diablo basically. And then it looks like as we go down farther, there's a little bit of special thanks to people that was dealing the most with the Diablo game lately. And like right here it says lead game designer Joe Shelley will be showing us all the major detail updates today. So it's just kind of saying like here's the person that's going to help us the most figure out what's going on with Diablo 4 at the current time. So next update, they say, will be, let's see, our next update will take place during BlizzCon contract online rather than in form of a blog. So basically, if we want to see the next quarterly update, it's going to be during what will be BlizzCon online. So instead of seeing it in this form, like if you want the inside look, then it will be through BlizzCon. I probably won't have that inside look, but I'm sure there's a lot of other people that will. But it all depends, because I'm not exactly sure how many people are like hyped about BlizzCon at this point. More or less BlizzCon online. I like Blizzard myself. I just don't know what kind of attraction they would have for that kind of thing. You never know though, you know, maybe a few people will go, maybe a lot of people will go and surprise me, because they did. Blizzard has done a few things lately, so, you know, there you go. So, thank you all and goodbye in hell. That's kind of cute. Okay, so we're moving on to the next part. So now we are to the main part of the quarterly update, which basically talks about what they're adding or doing to the game. And it says, so first they want to strengthen class identity by introducing imaginary intuitive hooks. So basically they're trying to make the classes stand out, and they need to figure out ways to do that. Skill based on your class's imaginations are the best. So basically it's back to, you know, what makes your character unique through the skill tree, what makes your character unique through the items you find, that kind of stuff. Second, we want to support more in-depth customization through elaboration. The elements should support and reinforce your category, not define it. So basically they want the stuff that you find along the way, they want to help you make your character stronger, but they don't want it to be the thing that makes your character. So again, they really want you to be able to have your own identity for your character, which is kind of interesting, because like in Diablo 3 we know our gear defines our character. Our skills kind of a little bit, but a lot of times it's the gear. Finally, we want to explore in general depth a range between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. We aim to offer tons of things in Discovery and offer list numbers of ways to create a category. So that's kind of cool. If they could truly mix D2 and D3 together and make it nice and blended, that would be awesome, because I liked D2. I love D3 for the fast. So it's kind of one of those weird worlds where it's like, you know, if they could actually bring the two worlds together, that would be freaking fantastic. But I don't know, because D3 had almost seemed for a hot second to be like D2, and then they went off where it was like, okay, now everything's down to basically speed running or speed farming. So it's kind of weird, where D2 was a slower pace and more, I wouldn't say more story, okay, because D2 had a story. I think we only noticed it more because, and D3 had a story too, but I think D2 we noticed it more only because D2 was a slow pace. Like even with its lead ladder boards and stuff and whatever, it was still slow paced. There was no like speed, like you could try and speed run it, but you were still gonna spend a good deal of time on it. Where D3, yeah, you like blink through the story and then you blink through the game. And the story is good in D3 if anyone actually paid attention. And I think there was just as much story in D3 as there was in D2, maybe more. But because everybody's on a speedrun kick in D3, you know, a lot of that stuff gets overlooked. Or people have already done it and they just don't go back to relook at it, give or take a little bit. So now we're down here into the skill trees. Since the launch of our quarterly post, the skill trees we've been working on reviewing all of your options, and the team had plenty of practical time to develop skill trees and frequent indoor playtests. So they're basically testing out how, or have tested out how the skill trees will go. It's kind of nice to hear that they took our feedback because they did ask for it. So yay Blizzard for listening. Your ability to relocate or redistribute your skills is a difficulty ability to balance, and like many of you, we want choice to matter and for characters to be different from one another. So again, they're trying to work on that whole like making your character what you want to be, not the cookie cutter like what we see kind of with D3, where almost all the demon hunters are the same, or almost all the witch doctors are the same. Like if you look at the leaderboards, like almost everybody's a copy of somebody else. Like there's no like really imaginative redefining. Like now with the demon hunter, for me, I stepped out and did Vola's, but if I was thinking, you know, if I wasn't trying to step out and trying to do something a little different, which may still not work, I'd be using hungering arrows, be a god demon hunter with hungering arrows again, just like I was last season. So, you know, it's like, I like this idea of you might be able to finally be a little creative. Alright, basic statistics. In our recent blog, we agreed with your opinion that much of the character strength was coming from the elements of the character's war, and we love the fictional image that inspired by phrases like angelic power or demonic power. But this does not simply imply the fictional form of the meaning of barbarian, magician, or druid. So we go back to our origins and look at the traditional RPG elements of the early Diablo games. What do you really do when you wade through a horde of monsters and level up on the other side? You are training, practicing a skill. Donate more for what you do to be stronger and smarter. After winning a level, Barbarian receives 5 stats and 2 skill points to use. Okay, so I kind of like where they're going with the basic statistics, if the shown here is right. This is very similar to games I played when I was younger, very similar to I think what people are wanting to see, where your core stats make a difference. Like in D3 they make a difference, but like in the long run game, as many people have told me and now gotten it through my head, yeah, your stats make a difference, but at a certain point it drops off and then it becomes the multiplier and not so much about the stats. It's like at a certain point you can go, who cares about the core stat, because now it's taking that core stat and getting that multiplier in, because then it's like, you know, there's your jump start. So that's kind of weird. Where this looks like it's more focusing at the core stat. When you win a level, you receive points to use for strength, intelligence, dexterity, or willpower, along with your willpower thing's kind of interesting to me, along with your skill points, of course. Most barbarians' designs will benefit from the appropriate amount of strength, but that is with your design and your personality and your identification of the skill. and interconnections that you will want to mix with other traits. Alright, so yeah, they're really homing in on core stats are going to help and be there for you. And it shows here too, like in this picture, you can see, okay, so here's your core stat, here's your strength or whatnot. But then all of these other core stats also help too. Obviously you'll want strength to be the highest, but these other things, just kind of like in D3, and I am sure in D2 too, they have their purpose. Okay, and then they're showing a little bit of like other things that you can toss in with the barbarian that help define the character here. So basically you're looking at kind of like not your skill tree, but like your main abilities that you would use. Types of weapons. As we indicated in our last blog, we are going to make fundamental changes to the basic detail. We'll start by researching many different weapons available to classes in D4. Our weapons look distinctively visual and they will have meaningful effects on playthrough 3. Now I like that. Okay, I like that they're making the weapons stand out and stuff, because like on your character you almost kind of want to see that. Like if you get a really awesome weapon, you want to see your awesome weapon, like, and in some cases you like to see it being used. So I like this with the barbarian, where in the bottom here where you can clearly see the weapon being used. It's part of the spell or whatever, but it's not like, oh hey, you cast a spell and your weapon stays off to the side somewhere. So that's kind of cool. I like that. Alright, what we got? Oh, here's Sorceress. See, like, I like this. Staff being used, not just sitting off to the side. She pulls it out, she actually uses it as part of the spell, which makes sense, because like the wizards that I was used to seeing, or sorceresses, or whatever you want to call them, they always pulled out their weapon, and that was part of what made their spell go. That was part of the whole deal. It wasn't like, poof, here's a spell, but I never pulled out my dagger or my weapon at all. So that's kind of neat to see. I also like seeing that the offhand is out. That's cool too. So yeah, we got some cool stuff going here. I like that. I like that a lot. Alright, items and qualities. So we made some interesting changes to the game's element types. Philosophy, like clarity of analysis provided by a clearer understanding of element orders. In other words, we see that skillful players of all levels benefit from not needing to check every drop item to see if it's an upgrade for them. Yay! That's nice when the color coding makes sense. No, you're probably still gonna have to compare a legendary to a legendary, but just knowing that for sure, without a doubt, that a yellow is, or a rare is going to be better than a blue, and a legendary is going to be better than a rare. Like there's been times that it's been questionable, so in the other Diablos, so now it's nice to know this is how it's going to work. This is the way it's gonna go. Okay. Legendary additives. Legendary elements can be seen as rare elements by adding one that has been replaced by a legendary effect. These new legendary additions are exactly the same as the regular additions in that they can randomly cycle on different elements and in different fields. Many of them can be used in any category, while some are specific to a specific group. Okay. So kind of throwing a little bit of RNG in here. It looks like these special things down here can rotate, but everything can be used for something somewhere. But some things you will have to pick specifically. Like it looks like if you're gonna do meteors, you're gonna be like hunting down this ring. Like you're gonna want this ring like really bad. Where like if you're doing ice effect, you're probably going to want to have like this necklace possibly. where these boots, this might rotate maybe, if I'm catching what they're saying. So then like these boots in particular may or may not be needed, for example. That's just my train of thought on what they're doing, but you know, let's read down here. Confused about making cold effects freeze faster and creating more groundbreaking effects on your boots? No problem. Legendary editions are not limited to a specific column. You can notice. Oh, okay, so it's just stuff that you can add on. Right. I think. I guess that's one of those things like I'm not fully understanding at the moment. But it'll probably make more sense when I actually see it working and see it in the process of everything. Unique features, unique elements come back greatly in Diablo 4. We are astonished by the magnificence of these developed elements of design, including their completely fixed additions bearing great objective meaning and usually class specific forces a distinctive appearance. So again, making your characters look a certain way, making them stand out a certain way, and kind of actually making the item useful. So like, you know, we may all look the same if we use poison, but you know that that outfit is specifically for that. Kind of like what we have in Diablo 3. Kind of. So, you know, but hopefully because of the trees being so, trees give us the uniqueness of being different. We may look the same, but we may not do the same things. That's what I'm getting from most of this. There are 3 unique items available at level 20. Unique items appear within the same bad clicking. Within the same plugins. We still like the idea of legendary items, and we do not want to create a type of element that nullifies others. So basically, they're not gonna make anything that's gonna overtake like the top end gear. So that makes sense. Okay, guys, so that's it. They're working on items for us. They're trying to make everything make sense within the game. They're testing the game out, and they're trying to make the characters stand out and be unique. And we've even seen a little bit here where they are going back to what seems to be their core roots of what we used to see in like Diablo 2. So this is very exciting. I can't wait until the game's out. I'm still excited about it. Hopefully it comes out in a time that I'll be able to purchase it, because I really want to get it. I hope you guys are excited to hear about Diablo 4, and will be joining many of us that will be doing Diablo 4. So anyways, I hope to see you guys in other videos. Take care until the next update that I can get my hands on.